Okay.
Okay, so this is the Introduction to Biology course, and we're in the section of Anatomy and Physiology. And today I will be going over the nervous system. So first, I'd like to start off asking if anybody would like to share their previous experience with the nervous system. Okay, so he had some experience being a personal care attendant. Wonderful. And what about you? Okay, and so he studied in high school. Wonderful. So everybody has like different experiences, previous knowledge about the nervous system. So what the question I'd like to ask is, the nervous system is a system where you need to have control over the movements of the body. But there are some movements in the body that are involuntary. So is there anybody who might be able to give me an answer on one of those processes? So he said breathing. Breathing is correct. That's one of them. And what about you? Digestion. Yes, digestion is correct also. And so I wanted to start off with the senses. That's sort of the basic part of the nervous system. So I wanted to start off with the five senses, which are sight, smell, hearing, taste, and touch. And what happens is that the brain gives off these, or there's a electrical impulse that's given off that's sent to the brain, and the brain processes it into a perception. So, for example, if you touch something hot, you'll send a message to the brain saying there's something hot. And that's how you'll take your hand away. It's sort of more of a reflex, but that's probably not the best example. Or if you hear a siren going by, there'll be an electrical impulse from the cilia in your ear, which we'll be talking about in a little while. And that's how you are able to sense the vibrations, the wave vibrations that are turned into or directed to the brain as an electrical impulse, and then processed into the perception of sound. Okay. So the first sense that I'd like to talk about is sight. And I have a picture here of sight that I'd like you to take a look at. It's an eyeball. So this is the eyeball. And the eye allows us to see in the light as well as in the dark. We have these cells in our eyes called photoreceptor cells, and photo in Latin means light. And we have two types of cells in our eyes. They're called cone cells and rod cells. Cone cells allow us to see light, things that are light or in dim light. Okay. While rods allow us to see things in the dark. Now there's three different types of cone cells. And so you have red, blue, and green cone cells. Now, all of these three allow you to see colors. So if you were to mix different colors, you take two of them and get purple, take two of them and get yellow. So all of these allow you to see different colors. Now, with the rod cells, you see mostly in black and white. For example, in the evening before you go to bed, if you're in your bedroom, if you were to look just before you fall asleep, the colors that you most likely see are black and white. And the reason because of that is that in the darkness we don't perceive color. So these are cone cells and rod cells, and these are the two photoreceptors in the eyes. Now, in the eyeball, this is the eyeball, back here there's something called the retina, and it's about like right here. So here's where all of this is processed, where the photoreceptor cells are, the cone cells and the rod cells. And the impulse is directed down this, which is the optic nerve, which each eye has. So the nerve cell is directed down here to the brain. Okay, this is the brain and this is the spinal cord. And that's where it gets processed, and then it gets sent back here, where it's perceived as as looking at a dog or looking at a building. So this is how the eye works. And the next thing that we'll be doing is hearing. And in the ear, you have, this is the ear, okay, and you have different bones in the ear, 3 special bones, right about here. And then you have a cochlea, which is in here, it kind of looks like a cinnamon bun. And in the cochlea you have cilia. And cilia, the purpose of that is to keep your balance. So that sends messages to the brain again, here, along with the semicircular canals, which are right above it. So together they send messages to the brain, and they send messages back saying, oh, well, you know, you are out of balance. And if you're out of balance, they'll readjust it by sending more electrical signals. So in here, wave vibration, because sound is heard as a vibration. It comes in, hits these 3 bones, and comes in here where the cilia is, and gets processed into the brain that way. So that's how people hear. Now for the next sense, and the next sense is smell. Humans can smell many different things. Unlike dogs who can smell many different things at the same time, humans can smell everything at different points in time. And so there's these chemicals in the nose, there's these receptors in the nose. So every time there's a smell, there's a chemical that enters the nose, and people inhale it, and it combines to the receptors on the cell, which again, the same method goes to the brain, which is right up here, and it's processed into a perception, which comes out here, and it could be the smell of cotton candy, it could be the smell of spaghetti, and so that's how you acknowledge the perception of whatever type of smell. Now for taste, we have about like 5 different tastes. So there are sweet, salty, bitter, sour, and umami. And umami is a new sort of flavor. It's called a meaty or savory flavor. And so we have taste buds. And so this is a taste bud. Okay, like this. And on these taste buds, there's hairs. Okay. So now here, these balls are your food that you're eating. This kind of wavy thing is the saliva in your mouth. So combining those two, interacting with this hair, it sends